Red is he's the middle child of 7 kids. He's my little brother.
First time I met Red, I walked into the shop. I had an appointment to meet with Shannon, and I had been following Shannon throughout the years. So I walked in, and he was the first one to greet me. Like, what's up? I said, what's up? I'm here to see Shannon. You got an appointment? Yeah, I'm just coming in consultation. All right, well, he'll be with you. And he walks away. And I don't know, it took something in me. I just followed him. I went up to him. I was just, hey, is there kind of look at some books? He's like, oh, yeah, they're over here. Actually, I didn't mean. And we started kicking off a conversation right there. And he had me. We were laughing. We were joking. And Shannon walked out. And that was the beginning.
I would say, like a lot of people coming through industry right now, I met Red through Shannon. I know Shannon's Red's brother, and I started out as a client. I would say I met Red just through my first appointment with Shannon, and I consistently went into Sims to get work done by Shannon, and every single time I was in there, Red would always come in and talk to me and talk to Shannon, and just, he came into my life through the tattoo world.
I met him through my twin, Lorraine. They were friends, and we communicated on Facebook about tattooing, and then I finally came in and we hit it off the bat.
My Rosie brought me here to meet her best friend, and I was really touched by the way that he was so happy and greeting and loving. I just had to keep coming back.
I met Red when he was working at Sims, and he did my first tattoo of my son's name. I was super scared. It was my first tattoo, and he joked around the entire time at the same time of telling me, sit still, don't move, or I'm gonna mess up. Which he did that with all my tattoos, so it was really hard to not laugh and joke around because he was joking around the entire time.
He's my uncle-in-law. I was lucky enough to be married into the Anderson family via Raheem.
I met Red when I was 17, coming in here apprenticing. Started coming around the shop, hanging out, just doing, little things here and there, sweeping. He was one of the people that definitely taught me how to tattoo.
I met Red through a friend of mine back in like 2013. I was looking for a tattoo after my mom passed away, and I was looking for an artist, and my friend recommended me to come here. And I met him at Sims, actually. I used to come there to go see my other tattoo artist friends, and that's when I bumped into Glory, and remembering when he tattooed me and Shannon tattooed me. We just bumped heads, and for one quick second over a little joke, and then after that we was just clicking. We'd always make jokes about movies, and everything was always a joke for everything.
It's one weekend, I was with my mom, and we went to a cousin's house, and my mom had knew Red and Mama Pat, and she wanted to introduce me to them, so I went with my mom, and she introduced me to them, and that's when I met Red.
I met Red at Cyclone MMA. It's a gym here in Livermore. He did boxing, Muay Thai, and MMA.
I met Red through Cyclone, Martial Arts and Fitness. He was training with another really good friend and instructor over there, Uzi. And I kind of just met him because they were just laughing like in a corner, and me being nosy, I'm like, hey guys, like, what are you doing? So, yeah, and then he introduced himself, and after that I just stuck to him like glue.
He's my little brother-in-law. My sister Raheem is married to his big brother Shannon, which is my big brother-in-law. So just the family connection.
I met Red through the shop. Originally I came in as a customer to his older brother Shannon, and first time I talked to him was during one of my appointments, and we had discussed music and art. The guy came in with a big old goofy smile and started cracking jokes immediately.
I am his little sister. I am right underneath him. We're 4 years apart.
Ryan is my older brother. I am the youngest girl in the family.
I met Red actually here at the shop. Started working and he was the goofy guy basically that came in and made everyone's day a little brighter.
Ooh, I met Red through Doc. Randomly, we went to the house. I think we just ended up hanging out because they had a studio in the roof of the garage.
So I met Red through Shannon. The first time, the most memorable experience I had, I did an art show in Oakland, and the whole family came out and participated, and was in the art show, and they tattooed live and everything. And all my friends and all my supporters were like, "That's the best thing we've ever seen. That was so cool. You had live tattooing in your show," and that was like my most memorable experience.
Well, I've known him ever since birth, like literally, like not really like a meeting. I don't know, since I was like literally baby.
He's my uncle. Also one of the biggest inspirations in my life, actually. Just because he's a hard worker, he does everything he needs to, and he all does it with a smile on his face. And that's what I admire about him the most.
I actually was fortunate enough to meet Red literally the day he was born. I remember one of the funniest things is we were in the hospital. I was young myself. I think I was like 17, 18. And I just remember when he was born, the doctor was talking about they possibly couldn't find Ryan Anderson, and we were kind of tripping for a minute. And we come to find out that the nurse actually brought him to the white lady next to us because this is little pale baby with freckles and red hair, fluorescently red hair. It got darker since he got a little bit older, but his hair was like literally like carrot top. And yeah, the nurse gave him to the lady next to her, to my mom, inside the same room. That's how I met Red.
Lovable, inspirational,
Hungry, driven, success.
Determined.
Silly, goofy, fun.
Strong, motivational.
He's very passionate. He's very honorable.
Artistic. He had a great personality.
Hardworking.
Is intelligent, funny as hell.
Caring, charismatic, passionate.
Very humble, peacemaker.
Very passionate.
Red was just an amazing young man, you know.
Hardworking. Very, very hardworking.
Motivational, very inspiring.
Creative, funny, humble.
Just a good spirit. Ginger.
Talented, charismatic.
Selfless. He's very humble and extremely talented.
Kind-spirited, hilarious, always there.
Number one, and overall, positive.
Red is cool, down to earth too. Like I have the term, you know, people label me funny style, so I don't get along with a lot of people, and me and him, we got along real well. So to me, that's a good person if you don't rub me the wrong way in the first 5 minutes.
Crazy and crazy.
Always wants to be the guy to be the comic relief. He doesn't like tension in the air.
Loving.
Red is the class clown. He's the life of the party. He's the person that, like, no matter what the situation is, he has something to say, whether it's uplifting, whether it's funny, whether it's lighthearted or serious. He knows how to change the mood and command attention anywhere he goes subtly.
Funniest dude, one of the funniest dudes I've ever met, like hands down. Just, dude's ridiculously funny.
Fun to be around, all around one of the best guys I've ever met. Not just saying that, just never met anyone like Red.
And the last piece is that desire, man, the boy had fire, always.
Genuine. I mean, everything he was just himself. Like it's hard to describe Red in one word because he was just a overall genuine guy. If you were his friend, you were really his friend. Like he really cared about you deeply. I can think of just hours of me just talking to him or just about family, personal stuff, me and my life and him and his life and just things, and it was just real. Like he really cared for you. If you were his friend, he really truly cared for you.
And it's one of the last ones that I was able to share. It was actually Thanksgiving last year. Of course, I'm earlier all the time, right? So we were laughing about that. He comes up to me and I said, "Hey, Red, I didn't get a chance to come stop by the shop, so I wanted to bring you this bottle of whiskey. I had found this 9-year-old bottle of whiskey. I promised him I was gonna bring a bottle by the shop, but I brought it to Thanksgiving with all the fam. So we put it in the back. He's like, we can't drink this yet." I was like, all right, we'll hold off. He's like, he's still upstairs. Shannon's already gotten the food. If we come up, turn it up too early. I said, all right, no problem. So time already turned around, man, 3 or 4 hours later, we're already done eating. I told Red, I said, man, I gotta go bring my son back to his mom's. I go, but we gotta get that shot. So I always told him, I said, we'll get that shot. We'll still take that shot. That's one of my last fondest memories.
He was notorious for impressions, and boy did he do a good Mark impression.
His impersonations of Mark especially, they were the best. He always, every time we'd see him, he'd give me a big hug and say, "He treat me good," about Mark. And it really felt like he actually cared,
Being his older brother, I remember his entire life, like literally from beginning to now. And I remember coming up with the name Red the Arsonist. When he came back from Indiana, the nickname Red, of course, was coined to him, and everyone was calling him Red. It took me a minute to kind of get to call him Red because I'm just so used to calling him Ryan. And of course, Red clicks with him and everything. And then starting rapping, I used to take him around to a few different places, battle rapping against people. He would go to all kind of different places, win all kind of battles and everything. And one of the things I was always trying to tell him, I'm like, you need something a little bit more than Red. There's like a lot of Reds out there, you need something. And I'm like, dude, you be spitting fire. Like, we need to call it the Arsonist, And he was like, Arsonist. I'm like, yeah, just Arsonist flows. You spit fire. And he's like, thought about it for a minute, and he was just like, I don't want the A on it though, just Rsonist, just Arsonist. And I had to look at it again. I'm like, oh, I see it. It works, and say, all right, so, like he said, Red the Arsonist, and I like that. Okay, cool. Red the Arsonist, and he's been pretty much rolling with that since that point.
His smile. I mean, you could just walk in the room and I have his smile memorized in my head, and that's the most thing that I remember of him. It's like tattooed in my mind.
I remember when I first found out I was diagnosed with beginning stage cervical cancer, and I actually had an appointment with Red. I had to call and let him know I couldn't come in because I had to deal with that. And he was very open to understanding that I couldn't come in and told me if I needed anything to just call him. I never got the chance to come back to have him incorporate that in a tattoo for me.
There's one that comes to mind, sort of embarrassing, but he used to make fun of me a lot. Like, we used to stay there late at night at the shop all the time, and there was one particular night where I was really, really tired for whatever reason, and he said that my eyes would roll in different directions when I started to close my eyes, and he started calling it a kitten eye, so he called me that for a while. But I just had to laugh because who was going to think of that but him?
He always made you feel welcome. He was never rude or anything. And for me personally, conversations that we had, he always kept it real. He never seemed the type to lie or try to make it something that it wasn't. He was always a person I could always come to and have a conversation with if I wanted the truth out of something. Well, my most favorable memory would be us thinking we were part of the WWE in the living room when they lived out in Tracy, and we would always be matched with each other. You know, always fight each other, and I could never quite beat him because he would always sweep my feet. And even though I knew he was gonna sweep my feet, I could never not get swept, pretty much to say. It was one time many moons ago when I was going through some stuff with my significant other, and he could just see it on my face. So he just sat next to me and we just talked about it, and he gave me a male perspective. And it really helped me out of a rough situation. So, you know, Uncle Lee advice is always best.
So one of them that really meant a lot to me was my 21st birthday. You know, I wasn't drinking, or I was trying to stay away from all that stuff. Didn't really like have too many people that were down to like, you know, go out and hit the club and just like, you know, kick it and be sober, just so like I didn't, you know, so I didn't drink and everything like that. And I was like, oh, I'm not really gonna do anything, you know what I'm saying? And then he was just like, he's like, oh no, come on, like we gotta go do something, it's your 21st, you know? So, you know, he like swooped me up, we went out to the city, went to the club, had a super good time, you know, talked to a bunch of different people. And on the way back, we were rap battling, you know, singing, doing a bunch of stupid stuff, which was a pretty normal occurrence with us. And yeah, I mean, like that one really stuck with me because it was like he was always pushing and always like had my back, you know what I mean? That like meant a lot. That meant a lot to me, for sure. Oh, our fat asses, when we like middle of the day drove out to Pittsburgh in traffic and spent like 4 hours to go get barbecue and got like $100-something worth of barbecue. And I got like 3 portions, brought back hella food for everybody else, and like, and me and him ate like 2 or 3 portions to ourselves. And we're just like, oh my God, we came back here, ate some more, took a nap. Just like, it was just always like a good time. Like I can never say like that I had a bad time when I was around him, like ever.
We were talking and he was like, yeah, I'm supposed to go to Vegas for, I think it was like a Mayweather fight. And I was like, dude, what? He was like, yeah, I got the room already, got the tickets. He was like, I don't know if I want to go. And I'm just like, why, dude? That's like a lifetime experience just to go to a fight. And he was like, yeah, I got to work though. And I'm just like, dude, you worked so much that you just need to go and just enjoy yourself. Like, and but that was just the type of person that he was. He was just always on his grind. I mean, talk from recording in the studio, doing his music, tattooing, being in the gym. That overall, that was just him. Just never slept. You know, he had to keep going. And that was, he just had that grind, that determination, that motivation that he just wanted to just do everything. And I mean, that was like a funny story because it was like, dude, you need to go to Vegas. I mean, go to Vegas for me. I mean, I'm not even going, but go to Vegas for me. And he ended up going, but and he told me that he went. He actually texted me and was like, hey, I'm on a plane right now. So that was a funny story because it was just like he really wasn't going to go at first.
Whenever I was going through a breakup, going through, you know, bad times, I come to Red. And then when I wanted to have a good time, going to Vegas, going to Red, you know, we were partying together. And when he's living with me every day, just sitting on the couch from watching a movie to him just, you know, asking my mom to make him some food or stitch up something for him, you know, because his gi would always get messed up. And I mean, just crazy. I mean, it doesn't even, it still feels like he's here though, you know, like every day I'll see something that reminds me of Red, something that he'll say if someone asks, are you hungry? And I'll be like, I could eat. And that was Red's thing. One time I took him out on a boat and he didn't tell me he couldn't swim. And so he's sitting there and there was a whole bunch of people dancing. And next thing you know, he asked me hey, if I fall in the water, he's like, what should I do? I'm like, well, swim back to the boat. But he didn't tell me he couldn't swim, so he jumped in. Someone pushed him in the water, and I looked down at Red, and he's just like not panicking, not moving. And I just see him kind of going to the bottom of the lake. And he looked like Leonardo DiCaprio when she let him go. And so I picked him up and grabbed him, like, hey, why didn't you like move or start splashing, say something? He's like, hey, they told me never to panic. So yeah. After that, I threw him one of those orange life vests, and he had to wear that for the rest of the day. When we were in Vegas, we were all sitting around hanging out, and Little John came over next to us, and he was like spitting some rap, and Red just all of a sudden just started like bombing on him, just open fired on him, and we were sitting there, and my one buddy and Red wanted to act like he was a little bit bigger than what he was, so he asked my boy to act like he was his security guard. So people were coming up to him like, "Who is that? Who is that?" And we're like, "No pictures right now." And it was so funny because he had to see it. But he put on the whole thing. He had the glasses on. He was just sitting there, and he looked like he was like Snoop Dogg. It was comical. But I mean, there's just so many countless stories of just like Red just. Of just being that funny guy, and it goes to show like when you saw him, like he was a Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, he could fit that role too. He could play the very humble. Everybody liked him, everyone from superstars to just normal guys, a normal everyday person.
I remember a lot of crazy things with this boy. One of the things I really, really do remember is always like as soon as I get to work, especially if he's here before me, or even if I'm at work and he comes in, like one of the first things that Red does is no matter who I'm working on, he'll come inside my station, introduce himself, shake their hand, give him a hug. Everyone just naturally wants to hug Red. That's just what it is. And he would go into his room. And basically, he turned his room into a studio. So we would get to hear everything that he would be doing music-wise consistently, like all day long. So when he was making a beat, we would hear the beat all day long, which was really, really fun. But then like now you look back at it, I miss hearing that, like I miss hearing just his music playing in the shop on a regular basis, his energy, transference of energy is a big thing. People see you for who you are and your aura, and he's one of those people that just like, he is always like a positive energy, everything from his his smile with the little half smirk, his of course his signature laugh, the little no matter what it was, he just had a little laugh for you. Some crazy stuff like with him being the joker that he is. I remember my car got stolen, and I was in the middle of doing a tattoo, and and he came in, he was just like, oh, like, let me go take you over to where it happened at. And I'm like, cool, let's go. So he went, got me, or took me over there. We're over there sitting there talking to the police and everything for a minute, giving a report and all of this. And, as soon as we finished up, he sits back and he plays To the End of the Road by Boyz II Men on his phone and just looked at me like, oh, is it too soon? Like, that's Red all day.
That rollback, getting tagged with that right on my chin, my nose, my eye. Steph calling Red the next day like, you messed up my man's face. I'ma come get you. And then Red's reply was, you should see my lip. Look like I got herpes. Everyone remembers the one that I said at the memorial about him, both of us passed out high as shit, eating some little weed popcorn, waking up 4 hours later. But yeah, no, shit. Remember getting this tattoo by him. He's like, let me tattoo you. I'm like, shit, off top, man. What you want to do? He's like, I don't care anything. I was like, all right, I want a Harley Davidson sign there. He's like, damn, that's a lot of lines. You about to test me, challenge me. I was like, come on, man, you got this. Came out dope. Get compliments on it all the time. Fortunately, I never got to tattoo him, but you know how busy that man was. Wouldn't even stop to eat. Sometimes I'd have to stop him, be like, man, I'm hungry, let's go eat. Like, what you want? Want some salad makers, some Panera, or some Roppongi? I was like, let's go get some Roppongi, man. You know I'm about that sushi life. We'd hit that shit every lunchtime. Hey, you want some sushi? Shit, no, I'm cool. Yeah.
I know. I mean, everybody that actually knows Red personally knows that he has that little sleepwalking thing. Yeah, he sleepwalks, and that was one of the stories that I stayed a night at the house, and we was up pretty much all night playing games and just joking, listening to music. Then we fell asleep, and he was in this bed. I was on the floor, and I was sleeping like in some position where I had my arm up, like, and out of nowhere, Red just grabbed my arm and told me to duck, and I'm already sleeping on the floor, so I'm just like, I'm turning over, looking like, man, what you talking about? And I look up at him, and he dead asleep. That was probably one of the funniest stories with him, man. And I used to tell him that all the time, like, bro, what was that about? He was like, what you talking about? So I let him know. He was like, man, I didn't do that, but yeah, that one right there was crazy. And he kind of kept our little group together, because everybody kind of branched off and did their own thing. And Ray used to always hit us up and try to get us back together to kick it, So it's just something right there that I won't say just me personally, but I would say the whole crew will tell you the same thing, because Red was the person that always got stuff together.
The thing I remember him most is laughing. All the damn time. Laughing. It was nonstop laughing with him. He can turn in an awkward moment and just laughter. And at the gym, we would always be laughing so much to the point where we told each other we had to start making videos. Start making money off of it somehow, because we would just be cracking jokes left and right in there.
What other things you remember at the gym with him?
I remember him being very giving about his time. Sometimes I would be very busy to the point where I wouldn't be able to work with everybody, and he would donate some of his time and work with certain people, stay in the gym and work with certain people. He was very selfless. Red was a very, very gifted person. He still is the only person I know that could have 3 great things to do in his life. He was a great tattoo artist, he was a great rapper, and he was a great boxer. I always told him, he always asked me, oh, when can I fight? I said, whenever you want to. I know you got a lot of things going on in your life, but you can do anything. And he really could do anything. He was doing everything that he wanted to. That was really, really cool, really rare. When everything happened after the owner of the gym, Fabiano, he sent out a plaque to get made, and we hung it up in his corner where he used to just hang out at. Whether it was post a picture on Instagram or Snapchat, it was his corner. And that's where we put up the plaque, and we called it Red's Corner.
I remember being able to just like walk in, tell him about my day, like make fun of people that like I thought I was clever, and I would make like names up for people or like funny little things, and he would just take it like 10 times, like even better, and we would just laugh. And I remember too when we would play his music, and I teach the little kids, so a lot of times I'm like, don't say that word, or like don't do that. And this one little kid, Ilian, he just loved Red, like that was his idol. And one day we're all sitting there, and Ilian's just sitting there rapping. He's like, going hard like on one of Red's songs, and he's like he was in his little zone, and Red comes through the door, and as soon as he saw Red, he turned and like looked at him and was just in awe. And I think that moment, it was like he didn't just inspire us adults, but it was just whoever he met, you know, all the kids, whenever they looked at him, they just looked up to him, like past like being a big brother, just somebody so inspirational. And it was one of those moments, because he was like, no, little dude, like keep going, and he was like, he thought it was the coolest thing. He's like rapping like next to Red, and it was moments like that I loved.
I just knew that if it was like a get together, a function, or if I came up from LA just to visit and he walked in the room, like he got there, like I knew the party was about to start. You know, like I can just see the smile and just I can hear his laugh, and I knew like, all right, it's about to go down. Like I said, there's some like personal stuff, you know, we talked about, and inside stuff that I'll keep, but that's probably the biggest thing. I knew if I walked in and he was there, I got this smile, but if I was there and he walked in, it's about to start. It's about to start. He was the man. You know, a lot of people say that maybe about people that have passed or whatever, but he literally was.
There's so many, but one that will stick out in my mind is last Thanksgiving, 2015, when we had our annual Anderson Clown Session, and we always start off teasing Shannon, and then we just go from there. It was just good times. It was funny. We just laughed, and that is my most memorable memory that, you know, I'll have for the rest of my life.
I used to take Red to like a lot of rap battles. We used to go to like Hot Import nights. He used to get up on stage and he used to like murder everybody. One of the things that he didn't do at first was really project into the mic, you know. And I remember he ate this dude up. And one of the guys from the rap group, the Pack, was a judge at this rap battle, and they had awarded somebody else, and he just actually walked on stage and was like, no, he's like, y'all didn't hear him. He's like, this is the problem. He's like, y'all didn't hear him. He's like, that man does not deserve this trophy. You need to give it to Red. And, you know, like from that point on, he started realizing like, yeah, I do need to project into the mic a little bit more to make sure that his voice is heard, because what he says, it resonates in just the most powerful way, you know. He's always down to rap, do anything, battling, just rapping in general. You know, there's been times where we'll sit up here in the middle of the night and I'll have my camera with me, like, let's do a video real quick. And, you know, he's like, cool, you throw on a beat and just go at it, you know. Him and Glory, they go for like literally like 20-30 minutes all freestyle. We did like 3 takes on something one time, and it was even hard to narrow it down to even figure out what we were gonna just play with and post up because it was so long. One of the real good memories that I have of Red is when he first heard himself on the radio. He had you know, he had a few songs that were out, and they just so happened to be submitted into the Wake Up show, and I was in the middle of tattooing, and he just heard like oh, like your song's on the radio, and he was like, oh, okay. He's like, I don't have XM radio, you know, it was on Shade 45. And I was like, hold on. So I jumped out for my tattoo really quick, ran to my truck, turned it on, you know, blasted it really fast. Had to make sure I grabbed my phone. And it's like one of my favorite videos I got right now, because I was recording it like inside my car. And then he was actually spitting the verses that were actually going on, so I was able to pan it over to him. And he actually gave us like a little small live concert on his first time ever hearing himself live on the radio. You know, I feel blessed to be a
part of that with my little brother. And yeah, like I said, you don't really get to capture too many experiences like that. And honestly, if it wasn't for a phone call, we almost would have missed it because no one else here even had XM radio but me. But you know, like I said, with his music, his determination, everything he do, you know, like I'm just glad I can be around him and help when I can, and like I said, he helps me just the same.
Well, like I said, the dude was hilarious. Every time, like, cause I was privileged to actually work in the station next to him, and he'd always pop in and, you know, crack jokes at random stuff that we would do day to day. But specifically, there was this one time that he was being like kind of sneaky around his clients. You know, he had been wanting to use the bathroom, and like he was waiting for them to kind of clear out of the way real quick. So like he kind of like peeked out his door and saw that nobody was there, and he just like scrammed it. And I swear to God, he looked like a live action cartoon character. And it was one of the funniest damn things I'd ever seen in my life. I'll never do it justice, but I seen him do like this like screeching like drift turn to the bathroom and just slam the door. And I just remember I was like sitting on the couch right here just dying. Like I don't know, I can't do it justice, but it was like easily like that was him, like stuff like that. Like yeah, you can't replicate that. Like nobody can. Dude was just working all the time, man. Like he just always stayed on it. Like seeing him and seeing like his brothers just putting in work all the time just made me want to hustle and just be better at everything I did. So that dude was just inspirational. Like just every day, literally every day. Every day was something different with him.
Did he kind of help you with your tattooing?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He was one of those types that told me all the things that I didn't want to hear, but I knew was true. You know, kind of one of those guys that puts you in check, you know, being a real friend, being a real just direct person, helping you out the best way that he knew how. Like, it didn't matter, like, if you know, he knew what he was talking about and he let you know, and it was never like a personal thing, but that's just Red. Like, he was very blunt. You knew where you stood with him, and it's a beautiful thing, you know, like, you know, in the moment I might have been like, damn, man, like, but he was always right. Like he was like he was a good dude. He knew what he was doing, and just mad talent.
We were in elementary school, and we were heading on the bus to school. I remember the bus was going to make a right turn, and we see a red Corvette. Everyone on the bus was looking at me. I think Red was sitting like all the way in the front, and I was towards the back. But the little red Corvette drove underneath the bus, causing the bus to like shake, so we were in a pretty bad accident. I remember, fast forward, Red ended up taking off in an ambulance. I ended up going with other staff and stuff on the bus. So we split up. I didn't know if he was okay. He didn't know if I was okay. And we were kids. I was only like 6 or 7, if that, probably 6, and he was in 5th grade. I just remember when we finally saw each other at the hospital, we made sure each other was okay. They gave him a little stuffed animal. It was a giraffe. And he gave it to me. And I laugh when I say that because me and him, it was a love-hate relationship when we were kids. And that was the nicest thing he had ever done for me. So he was really happy to see me, and I was just as happy to see him. And I think that kind of started off our bond. So, like Red driving on the Dumbarton and rolling up the windows so he could fart, and fucking pushing on the window knob, make sure you couldn't fucking roll it down. Funny. Holidays, everything is funny with Red. You know when to take him serious, but other than that, life is life. You living and laughing with him. He is an uncle to my 2 boys, Liam and Aiden. He's one of those kind of people who you would not imagine having their own kids, but when he's around other kids, like his other nieces and nephews, and my kids included, he's incredible. He literally lightens up their moods, lighten up their vibe and everything, and so it's just always peaceful to see him interacting with them, falling asleep with them, playing, holding them, the whole nine. So words can't describe how good of an uncle he is to all his nieces and nephews. So. But I know when Liam was a baby, well, he still is a baby, it's my baby. When he was smaller, we used to laugh and say that he looked dead on Ryan because hair, I guess he had like this crazy little high top fro. We didn't know if his hair was going to be red or brown. So they had so many like similarities, and Ryan did spend a lot of time with him. He'd come over to the house and they'll fall asleep together. He'd be cool with feeding them, and he just was really hands-on. So Liam kept his vibe, and I mean, he still asks where's his uncle at, and he'll tell me, you know, Uncle's house is in the sky, and he still feels that connection in his energy and his spirit. So yeah, they're one of a kind. I'd easily say he was and would still be considered one of my best friends and one of the people who kind of guided me to be who I am and the person that I'm hoping to be. So
his laugh, I don't really have too many stories with Red because, you know, the age gap between us, me and him are 6 years apart. But his laugh is one of a kind, you know, it's something that echoes even when he's not around. Actually, any moment with Ryan is crazy, but I remember particularly he found my mom's he found my mom's old cheerleading outfit, and he took one of her hair pieces and put it on and was like running up and down the street with her outfit on. His work ethic, his attitude, anything that, you know, he can tell you will motivate you, you know, like he was never nobody that had a I can't attitude, you know, anything was possible, and that's something that he always encouraged people, you know, and let them know that they can do anything that they want to do, you know. He's somebody who defies odds, and just his presence is inspirational.
Well, like I said, he was always there from the get-go. When I first started working here, I went out to a party with Red and Chris and got a little more drunk than I should have, and instead of leaving me or instead of being like, whatever, this girl's a mess, Red took care of me, made sure no one bothered me, and got me home safe that night. And ever since then, after that, he was always just there whenever I needed him. I moved to Reno for a few months, and he was one of the only people who talked to me daily. Like, he would text me like, hey, how are you doing? Miss you over here. And it was really exciting to come back and see him and everyone else, obviously. There was this one time when I was working all alone. Nobody was in the shop. Him and Gloria, I think, left, or Derek had come in and left, and I had mentioned that I was scared by myself at the shop, and instead of being like, oh, poor thing, they decided to knock on the doors, make noises, and basically torture me while they were outside and I was inside, and make me think that there were ghosts in here. It was kind of terrible. One that was really fun, actually, we were going to Kane's birthday party, Chris's son's first birthday party, and him and Kristen picked me up, and I had to get in the back seat of the car that was super squished, and we went to Babies R Us or Toys R Us, and we're shopping for gifts because neither of us had gotten gifts for Kane yet. As we're on the way to the party, we stop in Hayward, like where the party's at, and him and Kristen are kind of like bickering a little bit, and just like, what do we get him? And it was really funny, just kind of like listening, like seeing their dynamic and getting a gift like 30 minutes before the birthday party. And then afterwards, we all went to a movie. It was really nice.
The first video, Walk With Me, it took him 20 minutes to get him, convince me to do the part where he throw the money in my face, because I wouldn't do it. That man knew everybody. He knew everybody. And even like we'll go downtown, this is years ago, maybe well over 10 years ago. We'd go downtown San Jose and he just talked to people. I'm like, Red, you don't even know them. Like, no, it's cool. You know, you gotta meet people. You gotta, connect with people. And ever since then, it's just like, it's people he knew that I didn't know knew him. Like when he passed, I was working at Google and I found out I think the day he passed, I found out. And a coworker came up to me maybe like a week later because I posted a picture. Oh, I didn't know you know Red. Yeah, me and Red go way back. I met him in San Jose. I'm like, oh, this boy know everybody. It don't make no sense.
I've been to the shop a few times. I came a few times when he was here. And he always spoke. He was always nice to me. Even when I had to sit outside and wait to speak to Shannon, he would always come out and shake my hand. How you doing? Tell me how much he liked the new art he saw that I've done. Shannon always shares it with him. So, like I say, he's a real good dude. All my experiences are good memories. Everything I know about him. Nice, good, humble dude.
I remember mostly was him making beats and rapping. And how he used to, like, every single time I, like, met him, like, no matter how old I was, he grabs me by the side of the neck and makes me, like, entire body, like, shake up. And, like, it was so annoying. And every time he was like, Red the Rsonist. All right, there's the other story. I have to say the latest memory that we were sitting down and, well, my dad, everybody makes fun of me still because I call some guy thick. Because, like not in that way. But and he just looked at me and he said, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, that guy's thick." And he was like, "No, you can't say stuff like that." And I was like, "Why not? I can't call him thickness." And then he just looked at me and said, "Yeah." Well, no matter every single time I saw him, I was smiling. He always put a smile on my face. I always did small things for me, no matter what it was, no matter getting candy, food, snacks, asking me if I need anything. Just cool guy. And I think last Thanksgiving, I saw him carry his plate, and then by the time I set my plate down, he was already laid out on the couch sleeping, finished with his food. Oh, there's a time we all went to this to Livermore to this little festival. And we only listened to one song. It was California Love Remix. Back to back. We were out for at least an hour. No matter, as soon as the song ended, he said, "Hey, DJ, run that back." And it went on for hours. It was but now I know every single word to that song.
The best memories I hold on to is the fact that every time I came to him, he would always have words of wisdom with me and never stir me into the wrong direction. We would always laugh and dance. We had the same music in common as far as old school and just, I don't know, we loved food. It was like a boy version of me, my little light skin and a little freckled chocolate chip face. And he just had that smile and that laugh that just brought you in and just wanted you to get, feed off his vibe and his energy.
Oh my God. All right, so my little brother, Iman Anderson, being a little bad kid he was at the age of 10 or 8, he accidentally knocked a little ball over one of the neighbor's yards when we were staying over at Grandma's house. So, we asked Uncle Red and his friend Doc, hey, could you go get it for him? But then they said, nah, tell Iman to go get it. So Iman went all the way back there to get it. Said he came back and said, oh no, he yelled at me. The neighbor man, this guy yelled at me, told me to get off his lawn, you B-word. And he's like, and Uncle Red had to be Uncle Red. He had to get his friend Doc. He had to walk over there, and then some old man just coming in there all scared, got these two teenagers over here skulking him down, hey, what'd you say to my nephew? And he's like, I ain't saying nothing. And then they all came, so they all came back. But the funny part was the story that they said when they came to him. Beyond the old man being scared, they said he murmured under his breath, "You son of a bee," under them. And they had to come back "What'd you say?" He's like, "What are you talking about? I respect your family." And that just became the best line we've said all throughout our family, and I just love it.
Also, there's so many, all the jokes. He used to make fun of me all the time. He used to call me Carl Winslow from Family Matters and do the little voice, like, hey, Steve. You know, like, he had an impression for every single person in our family, like, and everyone had a character that they were, you know, and like I said, he'll make sure he'll get in the full character. It wouldn't just be, I'm just gonna say it and do it. Like, no, he got the stance, the walk, the anything else you can think of. Like, that's him all day, every day. You know, when it came to his motivation of his music, it was something that he really, really had a passion for, took really, really serious. And one of the things with me is I was tattooing, of course, before he was starting to tattoo. And me and Glory were always trying to get him into tattooing with us, you know, instead of running around doing little stupid things that he was doing and still trying to do his music. I looked at it as more of an outlet to where he can actually generate a reasonable income to pay for his music, you know. And after a while, he started kind of taking his tattooing a lot more serious, to the point where he understood that this is my day-to-day job that can generate enough income to help me afford my music videos, just anywhere I need to be at, where I need to go, actually mastering his music and everything. He used to produce his own music. He would put together a lot of stuff, but he would go about it the right way. He didn't want to like half-ass a lot of stuff. So he put a different emphasis and a different focus on his music to make sure that he was giving you a quality product. When you go to his videos aren't just some random videos just taken with a random camera. Like, it's actually poetic, it's art, you know, like just the way his music is telling a story about him. The video would just visually display everything that he would want to impress to you by his song. And, you know, like, that's something I always loved about him, you know, his passion for everything. When he decided he wanted to work out, he didn't just work out. Like, he literally got shredded, in shape, took martial arts classes, all kind of stuff. But at the same time, he was still like calm enough to know that I don't need to just get into a fight with anybody, even though I know I could whip your ass. He's the middle child of 7 kids, so he's always there. You know, he's the person that's everybody's birthday party. We all try to get to as many events as we can, but he's literally the uncle that's at every nephew and niece's birthday party. He's at every function. He's, you know, like, it doesn't even feel right, you know, like having something and him not being there, you know, like, it's, you know, it's like you're just still waiting for him to just pop through late, you know, sitting there talking about, oh, but y'all thought I wasn't gonna come, like, shut up, you know. That's him all day. So I mean, like I said, my level of memories about Red are pretty much infinite, you know, and I'm just really, really happy that he was a kind of person that other people felt inspired, motivated, comforted, and just loved by. You know, like the sense of love that he's been getting is like so tremendous, you know, like it's kind of unfathomable to me, you know, like I know that a lot of people like him and love him, but you know, the love and respect and all the admiration that people have been showing to him is really, really a blessing, and like it's really humbling to me, and thank you.
Boy, I miss you so much. You're a big part of my heart. I think about you every day. Listen to your music, it just brings me back. All those songs, all those happy moments.
Every single day I go to the gym. I know we always had that in common, and every time I feel like I want to give up, I think about you and it pushes me. Every day I walk, I can't come into this shop sometimes because I miss you so much. And I thank you for everything you did for myself, helping me with Lauren, and just being a good man. I love you, buddy.
I wish you were still here.
I love you, and I'm thankful for being around you, and I was blessed to have you in my life. And I miss you. And I wish we can dance one more time and get jiggy.
Red, I wish you were still here. I have not deleted your phone number out of my phone or on Snapchat or Facebook because sometimes I still can't believe that you're not physically here, but I know spiritually you're here with us. I still talk to your sisters and your brothers, and I talk to your mom on a regular. I do miss you. My son asks about you all the time and wishes that he could see you and just hear you laugh. He still sings your Distant Lovers song and knows it almost word for word. He is 9, which is a surprise for a 9-year-old to remember a lot. Sometimes I wish that I could just hear you joke around and laugh and just give that upbringing fun, excitement, and wanting to not let anybody bring you down. Sometimes I wish I had the strength that you did because I never saw you down at all or in a sad state because you always had a smile on your face.
I wish I would have visited you more before all that happened. I do feel really bad about that. I have regrets, but I'm glad that I met you and you made it so much fun at the shop. I wasn't the youngest person there anymore, so that was nice. Miss you a lot.
I miss us joking and laughing, going back and forth with each other. I miss your presence, your laughter, just everything about you. And I miss you. I hope everything is going good.
I just want to tell him thank you. And more because he was a true friend to me. I mean, last time I talked to Red, it was literally the Thanksgiving, a couple of days before he passed, and it was on Thanksgiving, and I just sent him just a regular text message just saying, hey, happy Thanksgiving, enjoy the day with the fam, and he responded back, same to you and everything like that. But for me, it was the only thing that I want to say to him is like thank you, because those countless hours of him tattooing me, but me and him just sitting and talking about just life in general, whether it's music, whether it's tattooing, family. He was a big mixed martial artist, so we talked about UFC a lot. Those are the things that I honestly miss, and I dearly, wish that I can have those conversations with him again, because he was definitely just a true person.
I miss you, man. I miss you more than words can describe, I know you're here with me. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you, and I wish I would have spent more time with you. I wish I would have came by the studio more. I wish I would have I'd give anything just to hear that little laugh that you do. But I know you're right by me every day.
Like I said, I ain't been tagged on the chin or nothing since you. So when we meet again, we're gonna be sparring. But other than that, man, you still inspire me. So having a hard time, you know what I mean? It's a rough year, but it was a good year at the same time. So just wish he was here to share.
That we will always remember him. And we all know that he's not here now, but he will always be there for us.
That I miss him, and I miss training with him. I miss training him, and I miss the laughter we had.
I miss you. We all miss you, not just for us, but for you. You had so much going on, so much you were going to be, so many things to see. I guess, just in closing, goodbye. As much as I don't want to say it, that has to be it. The last time I seen him, I didn't know it was going to be the last time I would see him, so I don't think I gave him, the the proper goodbye?
I wish I had more time with him. I wish I would have been able to get to know him even more so than I already did. I mean, I got to see the guy every day, and we all pretty much live in this shop. Like, this is like our home away from home, and yeah, I wish I would have been as privileged to spend as many years as everybody else did, because that dude just touched us all in our own ways. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, like, I love that dude, like, even though I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him, like, it was undeniable. That's what I would tell him.
Arsonist, if you see me, just know your boy's smiling. I know you gone, and I miss you very much. The rest of us miss you. But you want me to be smiling. You want me to carry on with you. I love you.
Keep the flame lit.
There's no words that can just, I miss that guy. I miss you, man. Like, we didn't talk every day. We didn't see each other every day. But we had that mutual where if I feel like, dang, I ain't talked to you in a while, I need to call you. You'll call me, I'll call you. Even on Facebook, hey, what you doing? What's up? Or even on Facebook, man, we go back and forth. We're just clowning, talking about each other. And it's a group of us. It's a main circle, and we just go at it. But he always had my back. I always had his. That's how our circle rolled, man. Miss you, man. Dearly.
You are honestly very missed. Not a day goes by that you aren't in somebody's mind. I can honestly guarantee that. And thank you for being such a good friend while you were here.
Well, I talk to him all the time. All I would say is for him to keep walking with me. That's what I tell him, is to continue walking with me.
I would tell him I love him and I'm listening.
I love you, Uncle Ryan.
I love you, Ryan.
I miss you. I love you. And I know we'll see each other again.
Well, me and Red always had this joke that I told him his kicks were really ugly. And so if I could say anything to him, I would say, I know he's probably still up there training and making fun of us and probably scaring me at the gym, but just to keep doing what he's doing, even though he's not, here, that I know he's still motivating and he's still pushing me every day to work out, and so I miss you and I love you and I can't wait to see you.
Hey, Red, I feel you. I see you. You're around me. You bless us. I feel those wings spreading real big, and I miss you. I love you, but just keep shining on us. Keep that flame lit.
Just want to let you know, man, I miss you from the bottom of my heart, bruh. I really miss you. For real. I love you.
I miss you a lot. I think about you all the time when I'm going through struggles and, my trials and tribulations. What advice you would give me. I can honestly say you played a huge part in the person I am today. Just through the lessons that I've been taught from you, a lot of my work ethic, a lot of my confidence, just you played a huge role in my life. When I came in to start tattooing, I was really lost. Didn't really have a clique to hang on to, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and you were definitely one of the driving forces behind what I am today. So I just wanted to thank you, and I love you. I miss you. It's definitely hard. It's different. So.
I just want to say that I love you, and just know that you were here for a reason and you fulfilled your destiny. I would give anything to have you back, but I know that you did what your purpose was. You served your purpose, and now I just want you to rest in peace. I love you.
I just want you back. It's hard to, it ain't really, it's hard to really just put into words, you know, how I really, really feel. You know, like, you wasn't just my brother, you was my friend. You somebody I see every day. You somebody I talk to every day. You know, we have a different relationship. Not to negate anybody else's, we have a different relationship as opposed to the way each of our other brothers, we all interact with each other a certain way. And my relationship with you is something that was really, really special. It's somebody that I helped get into tattooing. You exploded with your music, and I just really wish you was here to see all the love that you have, and also be able to continue what you've started, because it just doesn't make any sense that right now is the point where, you know, you're right there as far as being the biggest thing on earth, but you always still the biggest thing to me.
Killer, killer.